At the root of our judgments are a certain number of essential ideas which dominate all our intellectual life. They are what philosophers since Aristotle have called the categories of understanding. Ideas of time, space, class, number, cause, substance, personality. They correspond to the most universal properties of things. They are like the solid frame which encloses all thought. This does not seem to be able to liberate itself from them without destroying itself. For it seems that we cannot think of objects that are not in time and space, which have no number. Other ideas are contingent and unsteady. We can conceive of them being unknown to a man, a society, but these are, as appears to be, nearly inseparable from the normal working of the intellect. They are like the framework of the intelligence. Now, when primitive religious belief systems are systematically analyzed, the principal categories are naturally found. They are born in religion and of religion. They are a product of religious thought. If the totem is both the symbol of God and society, are these not one and the same? The god of the clan must therefore be the clan itself, but transfigured and imagined in the physical form of the plant or animal species that serves as totems. We are constantly forced to submit to rules of thought and behavior that we have neither devised nor desire, and that sometimes even contrary to our most basic inclination and instincts. Society's power is derived from its moral authority rather than its coercive power. Custom and opinions are more important than the courts and prisons. Authority is the daughter of opinion. Even the authority of science depends on opinion. However, social forces work in obscure ways and are not always perceived as social forces. An example from work: are you busy? Not really a question, but an assertion of expectation, though it is not obvious to either party. These social forces penetrate the individual and become an integral part of his being. Anyone who has truly practiced a religion knows very well that it is the set of regularly repeated actions that make up the cult, that stimulate the feelings of joy, inner peace, serenity, and enthusiasm, that for the faithful stands an experimental proof of their beliefs. The cult is not merely a system of signs by which the faith is outwardly expressed. It is a sum of total of means by which the faith is created and recreated periodically. Whether the cult consists of physical operations or mental ones, it is always the cult that is efficacious. The totality of beliefs and sentiments common to the average member of a society forms a determinate system with a life of its own. It can be termed the collective or creative consciousness. While the state becomes inflated and hypertrophied in order to obtain a firm enough grip upon individuals, but without succeeding, the latter, without our mutual relationships, tumble over one another like many of the liquid molecules, encountering no central energy to retain, fix, and organize them. Pleasure no longer attracts. It is society which, fashioning us in its image, fills us with religious, political, and moral beliefs that control our action. Just as reflection disappears to the extent that thought and action take the form of automatic habits, it awakes only when accepted habits become disorganized. It seems very strange that one must turn back and be transported to the beginnings of history in order to arrive at the understanding of humanity as it is in the present. The most barbarous and the most fantastic rites and the strangest myths translate to some human need, some aspect of life, either individual or social. Man is only moral because he lives in society. Since morality consists in solidarity with the group and varies according to that solidarity, cause all the social life to vanish, and moral life would go vanish at the same time, having no object to cling to. Do not condemn it because it is a crime, but it is a crime because we condemn it. Melancholic suicide. This is connected with the general state of extreme depression and exaggerated sadness, causing the patient to no longer realize sanely the bonds which connects him with people and things about him. The term suicide is applied to all cases of death, resulting directly or indirectly from a positive or negative act of the victim himself, which he knows will produce this result. When there is no other aim but to outstrip constantly the point arrived at, how painful it is to be thrown back. Since imagination is hungry for novelty and ungoverned, it gropes at random. When there is no other aim but to outstrip constantly the point arrived, how painful it is to be thrown back. Since imagination is hungry for novelty and ungoverned, it gropes at random. The Eagle King points his finger over the reign of the party where all the individuals collide and socialize amongst each other. On this holy day they pray and they feast for 7 days from morning till dawn. If religion has given birth to all that is essential in society, it is because the idea of society is the soul of religion. Our whole social environment seems to us to be filled with forces which exist only in our own minds.
You can't see the right arm. I look like a damn umbrella. With all this yellow on me, I look like a raincoat.
How long does this have to be?
You just drawing damn lines on my damn face. Just having fun.
It's supposed to be blend, but whatever.
Just blend it. Alright, get a different color now.
You could
That
put
would look
yellow.
good.
I don't know, just try to.
You want yellow?
I mean, what? I'm the yellow person. I'm just gonna be the yellow character. Put a little design. Put little dots. Like a blue dot,
I was
green
like,
dot.
oh, let me use black, but I'm like,
Wait, what color were you just using?
White.
oh yeah, where's
Oh, that
black?
was
I think
white?
a minute
so
is
use
good,
yellow
right?
and green.
Here.
Oh yeah, a minute.
So where I have to put?
Just get creative, honestly. Just.
Oh, the blue.
When there is no aim but to outstrip constantly the point arrived at, how painful it is to be thrown back. Since imagination is hungry for novelty and ungoverned, it gropes at random. Man cannot become attached to higher aims and submit to a rule if he sees nothing above him to which he belongs. To free him from all social pressure is to abandon him to himself and demoralize him. Social man is the masterpiece of existence.
Oh,